Cody Rhodes' top spot is in jeopardy under Triple H. Ripley frustrated with WWE fans and social media. Triple H set to reverse creative decision made by Vince McMahon. Sami Zayn sends a one-letter message to the Bloodline. Stephanie McMahon canceled WWE's plans of going non-PG. Sasha Banks and Naomi returning at Clash at the Castle. Let's jump right into our first story. Ripley frustrated with WWE fans and social media. Ripley recently sent a message to her fans venting out her frustrations with social media. The Australian pro wrestler made her mark in WWE during the inaugural Mae Young Classic tournament. Since making her NXT debut, she has won almost every title in the company. She has held the NXT UK, NXT, Raw, and the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. Twitter has long been a platform for fans to critique their favorite and least liked stars. For a long period of time, we have seen a lot of negativity on the platform. Superstars like Shotzi, Naomi, Brandy Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and many more have taken a break or permanently boycotted the platform as they were seemingly unable to handle hateful comments from fans. The former Raw Women's Champion decided to vent her frustration and attempted to knock some sense into the haters. She mentioned that people should get a life and insinuated that fans should not believe everything they find on the internet. There's some dumb AMFs on this app. I have a life. Maybe you guys should get one too, Ripley tweeted. Fans have reacted to Ripley's tweet and it appears many agreed with her statement. One fan commented on Rhea's statement and mentioned that there are people in the world who would believe whatever the dirt sheets say without doing any research. One fan reminded her that even though people claim to hate her, they still give her more attention. Ripley is currently part of the Judgment Day faction and is in a feud with the Mysterios and former leader Edge. Last week's Raw came to an end with Ripley and the rest of her faction staring down Edge and his wife Beth Phoenix. The Nightmare has teased a potential match against WWE Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix in the future. Are you looking forward to Ripley square up against Beth Phoenix? Let us know in the comments section below. Triple H set to reverse creative decision made by Vince McMahon. WWE's new head of creative Triple H is looking to re-debut the recently returned Karrion Kross. This is despite Kross debuting on WWE's main roster last year under the ruling of Vince McMahon. The game is set to have the former NXT champion make his in-ring debut again this Friday on SmackDown, effectively rewriting history. On the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer stated that WWE will proceed with Kross as if he is a new performer that fans have never seen before. So they announced it was his debut, so they are basically trying to pretend that Karrion Kross is a new guy. Although he has wrestled on WWE's main roster before, the overall presentation and look of Karrion Kross is night and day. So his match this Friday will have the feel of a brand new star entering the ranks. With his incredible athleticism, intimidating presence, and previous championship wins, the recently returned star has all the makings to become a top player in WWE. Speaking on Sportskeeda's Wrestling Outlaws, WWE Hall of Famer Road Dogg thinks the 37-year-old star could be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns as champion. One thing I kept saying was, who's gonna dethrone Roman? Russo said, and I kept saying, the guy's not there. Whoever he is, he's not there. So when Karrion Kross came in, I was like, great. I met this guy one time because Disco trained him. Disco introduced him to me one time and we had breakfast or something. This is a yes sir, no sir type of guy, and those guys are few and far between. Kross' SmackDown debut was nothing short of game-changing. However, Triple H and WWE have decided to play a long game with him by keeping him as a casual observer of the ongoing championship feud between Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. Do you see Karrion Kross becoming a world champion in WWE? Give us your thoughts in the comments section below. Sami Zayn sends a one-letter message to the Bloodline. Sami Zayn sent a one-letter message today about what happened at the conclusion of last Friday's WWE SmackDown. Over the past few weeks, Sami has been serving as an honorary Uso in the Bloodline but was never allowed to speak with Roman Reigns. However, the Usos could not make it to Canada for the recent WWE shows, and Sami finally had a conversation with the Tribal Chief. The 38-year-old complained about Jey Uso for always being on his hand, and the Tribal Chief agreed with it. Roman wished Sami well in his fatal four-way match for the Intercontinental Championship later that night. It was won by Sheamus, and he will now battle Gunther at Clash at the Castle. Sami was still determined to prove his worth to the Bloodline and squared off against Drew McIntyre in the main event of Friday's SmackDown. The Usos interfered in the match, almost leading to a victory for Sami. Drew put him away with Claymore, but the Bloodline attacked after the match. Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Sami Zayn beat McIntyre down in the middle of the ring to close the show. Roman will defend the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Drew McIntyre this Saturday at Clash at the Castle. Sami took to Twitter today and simply wrote W over an image of him posing with the Bloodline. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are close friends in real life but have been bitter rivals in wrestling for years. Kevin was in the main event of this year's WrestleMania against Stone Cold Steve Austin and has since been in a feud with Ezekiel. However, However, it appears that KO is willing to go back to his roots with his new character change. The 38-year-old brutally attacked Ezekiel on a recent episode of Raw and hit him with a powerbomb on the ring apron. The prizefighter also had a tremendous match with Drew McIntyre and has made it known that he wants to hold a title after not holding one in the company for over 5 years. He spoke with the TWC show recently and said he'd love to capture the tag team championships one day with Sami Zayn. KO added that they have been tag champs everywhere in their careers besides WWE. Roman will celebrate 2 years as champion on this week's edition of SmackDown. Time will tell if the Bloodline is just using Sami Zayn or if he will remain a part of their group. What do you think would happen with Zayn and the Bloodline? Sound off in the comments below. Stephanie McMahon canceled WWE's plans of going non-PG. A recent report has emerged detailing Stephanie McMahon's alleged take on WWE programming transitioning to TV14. Stephanie McMahon has been an integral part of WWE for several decades. Often referred to as the billion-dollar princess, McMahon has worked with the promotion both on and off screen. Last month, she took over as the company's co-CEO alongside Nick Khan following Vince McMahon's surprising retirement. A few weeks ago, there were reports of WWE potentially reverting to its TV14 rating. However, those plans have reportedly been nixed by the new CEO. According to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio, Vince had plans to move to the new format. However, the current management wasn't interested in it. Vince maybe was considering it. Stephanie's thing is we don't need it. And they don't. Before, when things were down, things were declining, you kind of go, what can we do to reverse the decline? When things are going up and haven't done it, you don't have to go like. Fans were seemingly excited when they heard rumors about the company's programming moving to TV14. However, the promotion has retained its original format for the time being. Since its inception in 2019, AEW has been seen as an alternative to the sports entertainment giant. Several of the promotion's talent previously worked for the Stanford-based promotion before signing with All Elite Wrestling. After McMahon announced his retirement, WWE underwent a significant corporate makeover. Besides Stephanie's takeover as the CEO, her husband Triple H also took charge of the promotion's creative services. Since then, several previously released performers have returned to the company. Based on a report from PW Insider, AEW's legal team sent a notice to Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan for allegedly tampering with AEW stars' contracts. McMahon and Khan have made no public comment on the legal notice. Several top names, including Bryan Danielson, Malachi Black, Adam Cole, and more, are currently working with AEW. It will be interesting to see if any of these stars return to their former promotion under the new management. Do you think more superstars will return to WWE? Sound off in the comments section below. Sasha Banks and Naomi returning at Clash at the Castle. Sasha Banks and Naomi's rumored WWE returns are almost on the horizon, as per Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio. Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out of WWE Raw on May 16, 2022. The duo handed over their women's tag team championships to John Laurinaitis before leaving the arena. Ever since Triple H took over as head of creative, fans have been hoping for Banks and Naomi to make their returns. Over the past few weeks, rumors have emerged stating that the two popular female stars are bound to return to WWE very soon. On the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer opened up about Banks and Naomi's reported returns and had the following to say about the same. Naomi and Sasha Banks should be back any week now, he said. It's been a while since former WWE chairman Vince McMahon announced his retirement on Twitter, following which WWE veteran Triple H was appointed as head of creative, a decision that was collectively welcomed by fans worldwide. Triple H has been a massive fan of the boss for a long time now. Ever since he took over, fans have noticed major positive changes in the weekly product. It's highly likely that he will use Banks and Naomi to their fullest potential if and when the two stars make their returns to WWE TV. Many fans were hoping to see Banks and Naomi make their returns at the upcoming WWE Clash at the Castle event, which is scheduled for September 3, 2022. Judging by Meltzer's report, it seems unlikely that they will return at the big event. It goes without saying that Banks and Naomi will get a huge pop from fans when they finally appear on WWE TV again. What are your thoughts? Are you excited for a potential Banks-Naomi return? Let us know in the comments. Cody Rhodes' top spot is in jeopardy under Triple H. With WWE's recent change in management, Jim Cornette has pondered whether Cody Rhodes will still be booked as one of the company's biggest stars. Following Vince McMahon's recent retirement, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Nick Khan have all taken on the 77-year-old's main responsibilities, ushering in a new era for the company. One star who is yet to work under the new regime is Cody Rhodes, who has been out of action with a pectoral injury since early June 2022. Speaking on his Drive-Thru podcast, Jim Cornette spoke about how Rhodes may be booked in a Triple H-run WWE. I think with what we've seen that Triple H is willing to, repair bridges with people and bring people back, and he's told somebody, I don't care what went on before, we'll start fresh. I don't think a throne-breaking entrance is going to be a big deal. Cornette added, "So I think unless there's something we don't know about the two of their interaction, I think they're gonna be fine. I think they'll pick Cody up right where it left off." During his time away from WWE and AEW, the American Nightmare took a huge shot at the King of Kings by smashing a throne that resembled the WWE system as well as the power that Triple H has over the wrestling business. In recent years, the various creative decisions made by the former WWE chairman were met with a fair amount of criticism. Continuing on his podcast, Cornette also said that McMahon's presentation of Cody Rhodes in 2022 was one of his best pieces of work in recent years. For once, Vince was hitting a home run because the story is perfect and he's the perfect guy to tell it because it's real and it fits. He's the son of the guy that almost won the title in the Garden and may have been in an alternate universe if he didn't go with the NWA, and if Vince didn't go with Hulk Hogan, could have been the WWF champion. Since his injury, the American Nightmare has had successful surgery on his torn pectoral, with many now hoping that a return before WrestleMania in April 2023 is on the cards. How would you like Cody Rhodes to return to WWE? Let us know in the comments section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head,